The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Dun, dun. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. Dun, dun. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Dun, dun. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back for an emergency show. Huh? You can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you, no.
Oh.
Is it me?
What about now? Can you hear me?
Here we go.
All right. The boy. Hey, Chaos Culture Radio back again, once again. It's your boy, Prince Hakeem.
And this your man, Ronnie Ron, in the building.
Let's get it. And our beloved New Jordan era. Jordan, can you hear us? Jordan got knocked off. He'll be right back. And when can you hear us now, Jordan?
I got you. There we go.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Go ahead, Jordan. We already did the intro. It's your turn to do your intro.
Oh, this is the new Jordan era. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go.
It's an emergency episode.
Yes, it is.
If anybody's under a rock, I hope you can get out of it, because the hottest news is hitting the internet, and your favorite gang is here to give their commentary. Whew. The gang, we had a pre-meeting before doing this. It was such a quagmire that, Lord Jesus, like when y'all brought this, like, yo, Jordan, when you had brought this up, I had synced it, but at first I was on the same fence as Ron. I thought this was a joke. You feel me? I said, yeah, this shit is a joke, because them niggas is friends. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Like they've done a movie together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And Chris Rock was on an episode one time with Fresh Prince. So yeah, way back.
So I'm thinking like, nah, we'll want put no nigga move like that.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold.
And it happened. Like when I first saw it, I woke up at 3:30 in the morning here, Pacific time. 3:30 in the morning, because I used to wake up around that time when I'm off. And I'm looking at my phone, and a notification, it's on Bleacher Report. And Bleacher Report just shows on sports and shoes and stuff. I read it's like Will Smith smacks Chris Rock. I'm like, what? Because I forgot about the Oscars. I didn't watch the Oscars yesterday. I'm like, the Oscars is not the same. But I saw the Oscars, I'm like, what? And then I'm looking up, and I'm like, saw the video. This is fake. And then I kept watching it, and then I saw the somebody got the Australian edition when he has to cuss, and he said, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
And then he said it again. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This must not be staged. This must be real. And then go ahead.
No, go ahead. I need you to finish.
And then also I saw there was somebody who had recorded on the top of the second rows, and they had a picture of him after that incident. Denzel, Tyler Perry were consulting him and everything, and then when it was set back down, Denzel was consulting Jada, and then Will's publicist came out to consult her and everything. I was like, wow.
They consoling him, but he assaulted a man.
Exactly, a black man too.
Thank you, in front of a bunch of white folks.
at one of the biggest stages, award stars of the year. It took me a long time to believe it. Y'all just like, yo, why would he's like, yo, it's like, my thing is this: if somebody disrespects your wife and you on that type of stage, this is what I would do. I would, after it's over, I'll bring it to the side. Say, hey, you gotta apologize, yo. My wife don't like that. I don't like to be play around like that.
No, definitely.
You know?
Like mind you, but here's the thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, did we honestly think he was making a joke about her medical condition, her losing hair? For the love of Christ.
Exactly. I don't think he knew. I don't think he knew. It's like, yo, it wasn't a bad joke.
No, it wasn't a bad joke. It was a decent joke. We just live in a very soft, weak, milquetoast era. Everything is touchy-feely. Oh, you can't say this and that. No, I wish I was back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of, and a matter of fact, I want the people, because Will is over 50. I want the Will that was back in the 90s who could take a harsh joke. This shit was crazy when I seen that. I seen them slap a man who we know have never had an issue with nobody in here. He's never even made an offensive joke to anybody.
Yep, I agree.
You go and you put your hands on him, let it have been the right dude. What you was gonna do? You go pick the smallest person. You've been bullied all your life, so you want to go pick on somebody who's 2% body fat? Why you ain't slapped Tupac?
And that's his fault. That's definitely his fault. Like,
yeah.
You know, all of the embarrassment you have, all that building up, and all that entanglement, and all this other stuff. It's like, when this is my understanding. When you're married, when your wife is embarrassing you, that is not a good look.
No, not
that tells me it's like, yo, you bitchy. If your wife's making fun of you and your wife's humanity, that's bitchy to me. And we keep poking, you like you're bitchy, and all of a sudden you wanna, don't disrespect my wife like that. Why it was your night that you won the Oscars. Instead of us talking about you winning your first Oscar, which is well done, finally, we're talking about you smacking Chris Rock.
And you're 100% right about that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, there's a comment that somebody stated on Facebook would say, Will Smith wasn't wrong. It was a personal for 2016 because Chris had made another joke. I don't know if you remember another joke where she was trying to boycott the Oscars back then in 2016. Y'all remember that, right?
Yeah, that was the one he got. He was supposed to be. To me, he's supposed to be nominated for concussions, but they didn't give it to him.
They didn't give it to him, and they would say they was boycott white. Now here's we go. He made a nice joke then, and I'm gonna tell and the person who made the joke, that's my brother. I'm gonna tell you this. Let me tell you where she was wrong at. This these white folk stuff. What you crying about?
Right.
We don't got our own Oscar building, so we can't be asking for a goddamn thing. What I be preaching on here, Jordan, about self-enterprising, cooperative economics.
Yeah,
we should have had our own. Yeah, be our own. So right. The joke he made a couple years ago was that you want to put your hands on a man over a statement, knowing that y'all was trying to be woke in 2016. The Oscars ain't even want them niggas there. Right.
And also, I was going to tell you, there's some news now, and I'm glad, it came up. We waited a little bit to talk about this. Yeah. The Academy Awards is looking at forming a review or not if they could press civil charges because of the state of California. They look at that. They look at it as assault. They take it very seriously in California.
They need to.
So, and the thing is, Chris Rock he didn't want to press charges, but the Academy Awards, you broke them.
You want to know why?
Go ahead.
He kept it hood.
Yep.
What do most black people do when the nigga when they know they're not in the wrong? I ain't gonna do nothing. He's just tweaking.
There's a certain place to slap. You can slap somebody, but not at that stage where Will Smith is at. It was all about him.
No, definitely. Hey, when it comes to black rules, I didn't have an issue with him checking him about anything he said about his wife. It should have been done outside of the eyes of white folks, and only our brothers and sisters was able to chastise him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Denzel, Tyler had done chastise him. Said, hey, brother, you know you done made us look bad out here.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
You
know what I mean? A lot of people say, and here's the thing. I love Will Smith. Will Smith was the last clean version of a black man that we had. He didn't cheat. He took care of his kids, but the thing is, he was no leader. He was a beta man. He was weak. His legacy started to decrease when he started to let his wife run around and talk all that mess. This is what happened when you're not a leader in your home. When you let your woman run your business, mind you, I'm not disrespecting nobody. I'm just giving my opinion. I don't know well. I'm just going by from what I'm seeing. He allowed her to do whatever she wants. He's now a forever a meme.
Yeah. And at the biggest stage of the Academy Awards, and everybody's talking about this nonstop. I mean, everybody's talking about this. And we're supposed to talk about you and the award. That's a complete stain. That's a shit stain, man. I'm sorry.
Listen, he won an Academy. Listen, the greatest Academy Award he ever won was playing a black man.
That's right.
Playing a strong black man who was married, raising kids. You go off and you can't keep your composure because you a wink, simp, beta male, milk toast, butter crunch, cookie monster dude.
And the thing is, this man's 53. Why a 53-year-old smacking a 57-year-old?
Bro, let me tell you.
We supposed to look up to y'all, and we see a 50-year-old stepping up 50-year-old.
Listen, I'm even dumbfounded that a lot of people are standing with him, say, alopecia, what the F is, we didn't know she was losing hair.
Right.
Nobody didn't know that. I don't watch her stuff.
Right.
I don't watch female television because she was talking about this is, you know what I'm saying? Then he insists there was no cheating right after that. Right after this whole incident, he insists there was no infidelity. Man, y'all had an entanglement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only people, hey, Jordan, I'm gonna ask you this, and maybe you can agree with me. You know the only people who was applauding him was black women?
Yeah. That's true. Because we black men, we see that in a different way. You know, the other races, they see it in a totally different way.
They see it in a totally different way.
Different way.
Mind you, if it was any, mind you, here's the thing. I want to bring up Kim Kardashian. Do you remember when Kanye made the statement about black people chose to stay in slavery? Remember that?
Yep.
Do you know she was on a phone call with him less than 30 minutes and say, get out of the room. You're messing up the bag.
That's right.
She checked her man, stopped him.
Right.
When Will got up to try to defend Jada Armour, she did not move an inch because she liked that ignorant thug stuff.
Right. And knowing this is your man's night, not yours.
Not your night. Because let me tell you something. Let's be honest here. Her movie career has never been the most prominent one. Really, a lot of us know her from a different world for being Tupac's girl.
Mm-hmm. And the Matrix, now being that's it.
Basically. So when I seen that, and I'm like, hey, and I want people to think that we're not insensitive to this and that. Listen in.
Mm-hmm.
In the 90s, people was giving jokes. People was making jokes about people even worse, and they know it wasn't meant. It was meant for laughter. Mm-hmm. It's so cookie cutter right now, and Will could not hold his composure because he said he grew up in a very abusive home, and I feel for that young brother. Mm-hmm. So why would you take it on the weakest? Why would you? And I'm not calling Chris Rock weak. Why would you pick that night to say you're going to defend your wife's honor? What about August, who was? What about August, who was What about August? What about, matter of fact, there was a couple other people who made jokes about Jada Pinkett. He's never checked them. That was famous.
And I tell you, Regina Hall, she made a joke, a later joke after she made a later joke about them too. Nobody said a peep.
Nobody said a peep. No, because let me tell you something. For black men in this country, we are like target practice. We're shooting we're shooting bucks. We're punching bags. We are the ultimate placebo experiment to do whatever you want. When it comes to beef, we have a high level of violence for black against black. We'll disrespect our brother in that. I was ashamed to say I love Will Smith, and I had the Big Willie style CD here.
Yeah, man, it's just like I can't look at Will Smith the same way, yo.
No.
I like I said, like the Independence Day, the Men in Blacks, the I Am Legend.
Oh my God,
Ali, The Pursuit of Happiness. It's like this man made great movies.
Listen,
and then and being married and just looking at the scene like what's going on in the marriage life and stuff. It's like, yo, that's cringy to me.
Listen, unbeknownst to us, we perceived him as an alpha.
Yeah,
without even before this whole debacle of his wife messing up the bag. Yeah, we perceived him as an alpha for years. We listen when
I would say one movie that snapped that to me was Bad Boys.
No, 100%.
Hey, Mike Larry, we want to be like you.
Yeah, basically. Basically. Listen, when his partner Antoine Fuqua was cheating on his wife, allegedly, when his partner and all these other Hollywood actors, we said, boy, at least we got Will.
Yeah.
That's what we kept saying. At least we got Will Smith. He sets the benchmark for being a black man who married a black woman who had black kids. You know what I mean? He was actually winning. He was actually the good guy who a lot of black girls did not want because they say he was soft. You just proved to us that it's over for us. There's no help.
Yeah. Yeah, but about the choices your choices that you make, and choices that you make, it could be good choices or it could be bad choices, and sometimes you gotta live with those consequences, man. And it is showing, and it's not over yet. Remember we talked about this about the Jada Pinkett stuff last time. What was it? September and October, and I told you it's not over yet. We just getting started.
No, it's not over. It's not over yet. And let me tell you something. It's going to get even worse. I want them to take the Oscar back.
That's what they're thinking about too.
No, please, beloved white people, take the Oscar back.
Yeah, because he can take it back because you already know he won. For me, but like I say, please take it back. Go ahead, Akeem.
And listen, and if it was the black Oscars, he would have been banned off the show. We would have ran that nigga outside the door. Man, go back to them white folks.
The NAACP?
Yeah. You don't slap your brother like that because he made a comment. He's a comedian. This is what Dave Chappelle was talking about. For the love of Christ, you can't even be a comedian. He said it's a G.I. Jane joke.
Yep.
It's a compliment. Most women, you have a lot of women who wear bald head. We can't make a joke about it.
Right.
Oh, it's alopecia. She's losing her hair.
And G.I. Jane was a strong woman.
Yeah. Who was what that girl was it? Who played that? Was it Jane Fonda? Whatever her name was.
It was let me see. Try something real quick. Let's see. It's 1997.
When I seen him,
Demi Moore. Yeah,
and mind you, she played that role fabulous. By the way, I could say.
Yeah,
she's one of my
movie.
Yeah, she's one of my favorite actors. But I'm talking about for the love of Christ. Me and my cousins my cousins are diehard Will Smith fans. Shout outs to them. They know who they is. They was even disapprove of his, because you want to know something? Physical violence should not be ever used.
Exactly. Especially on television, which is big as the Oscars, yo. And it's like this. It's hard to believe. It's like, yo, well, really, man?
Listen, we got another comment from a queen. Hey, Aziza, she said she don't think they'll go far as taking the Oscar. Aziza, let me tell you why we need to have extreme measures as far as Black people. We need to hold us accountable, because let me tell you something, we always been scrutinized. So when one of our brothers who's been, listen, first and foremost, let's also mention this. Will Smith have never been political. I've never heard him spoke about any Black issues or anything like that. Am I wrong, brother?
I can't think of anything right now. So you probably be right. I can't think of it.
I can't think of it. So here's the thing. To say that he aligns with us, it's a questionable fact. He's in the interrogation room to say, hey, what have you done for us in the last couple of years? So you go off and slap another Black man who we know has stand with us with Chris Rock. He's always spoke on political issues. He spoke on being pulled over by the cops. Physical violence should never be used against your brother. We had needed a tribunal. We could have had a tribunal right there with Samuel L. Jackson, with Denzel and Tyler. Those are the older guards. They could have came back and mediate everything. Hey, brother, what's going on here?
Right. And shout out to Samuel L. Jackson. He finally won his Oscar by a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Governor's Award. So shout out to Samuel L. Jackson.
Shout outs to that brother. Beautiful. And listen, shout out to Samuel L. Jackson. He put respect on his name's wife.
Absolutely.
I read it. You remember, there was an article that came out where he said his wife saved his life from addiction. Shout outs to that brother, that beautiful Black queen.
Serious drug condition.
Shout outs to that brother for that beautiful Black dark-skinned queen. He put respect on her name.
And shout out to Denzel's wife too, Pauletta.
Shout outs to Pauletta too, that beautiful queen.
Mm-hmm.
That beautiful queen who stuck by him. And shout outs to Denzel for never disrespecting his Black queen.
Period.
Now, Will Smith, on the other hand, it's a minstrel show. That slap, I felt like meteors was crashing in on the stage. I said, it's over for us here. Everybody pack up. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. We don't need, there's no real Black men here anymore. Will was the last of us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We can't speak about the older guys. They come from another era. Will is our era.
Yeah. And that's hurting, man. It's just like, it's like, and shout out to Chris Rock because how shocked he was and how he kept the show going.
No, he played it like a smooth brother.
Exactly.
He played it like a smooth brother. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like that. You want to know something, man? That man kids was there, man. Chris Rock family was in the building. I think I heard something like that. You go and slap a man and disrespect a man in front of his kids.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, yo. Yeah, man. It's we definitely gonna get more information though. And like I said, and they're gonna talk about this all week. But this is the start of the week, and this is gonna be nonstop. The memes was already crazy. I'm watching Only in the Day and Miami Lifestyles on Instagram. They just post some stuff on and memes of everything they do about Miami.
No, you're right. Hey, shout outs to Maurice Jackson. That's my brother. He had just dropped a comment on them. He said his comedy though. America has been sensitive. Comedians can't be comedy. Maurice, I agree with you 100%, brother. He said comedics cannot be comedic. Maurice, Maurice, we talking about this. We cannot be men anymore. People can't be joking anymore. For the love of Christ, we know that man did not try to disrespect that lady about her medical condition. I want to tell you, as him being a Black man who has a Black woman.
Right. I totally agree.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's a hurtful feeling. It's a hurtful feeling because you want to know, us being Black men here, a lot of people got to understand something. And I want everybody who's listening a lot of y'all know that we are scrutinized and held to a certain regard compared to our counterparts. So everything we do is under a microscope. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So us having some sort of dignity and respect and conflict resolution is important. I would never disrespect my brother in front of no white boy.
Right.
Because you want to know why? That's not for a white boy to see. That's for me and my brothers to see. And maybe I could have to go to the tribunal to see if we can get one of the older guards to make sure we get this thing together. Because let me tell you something. Why would I embarrass you, my brother?
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? Why would I embarrass my family? And why would I embarrass you in front of your kids, in front of my kids? Yeah. Because you want to know why our kids are watching this. Our kids is watching this and say that, hey, it's just another black man slapping another black man.
That's right. And just very cringy to see. It's
you know what I mean? Aziza just said a beautiful queen. So Chris shouldn't have talked about it. It was a joke. He didn't say, listen, the joke was so mild. Hey, he just talked about the hair. I can't wait to see you in G.I. Joe 2.
Right. He said like you look like a damn shaved bird. That would be a personal damn shot.
Yeah.
You know, but by saying, you like I said, we see your G.I. Jane Joe 2, that means it's like, man, that was a good joke because if you saw G.I. Jane was a strong woman.
Definitely. Listen here. There are a lot of people forget when Pusha T made a joke about Drake's homeboy who had, I think, multiple sclerosis or something like that. Mm-hmm. It was a shot joke, but we know he didn't mean that intentionally. All fair in love and war. You feel I'm trying to say? We're all brothers at the end of the day. But right. But when dude did that, I was like, I was a little bit like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And I just found out that Will Smith, he probably apologized to Will Smith and the Oscars again on Instagram.
But did he apologize to Chris Rock though?
Yeah. You want me to read it?
Yeah, did he apologize? Because when I heard his speech, I didn't hear no apology to Chris and his family. But disrespect.
Yeah, he probably apologized. He type of apology on Instagram, apologizing to Chris and also to the Academy Awards. My thing is this: you should apologize to Chris first.
Listen, Jordan, somebody agree with you. My cousin say Jordan makes a good point. G.I. Jane is a strong female character. Yes, she was a strong female character. A lot of people forget G.I. Jane was a movie about a female going through the Marines. The Marines, she shaved her head in solidarity for the men to go to what she was going through. So let me tell you something. If you wanted to look at it, I would have said it was a compliment in a sense if you wanted to look at it. To say that G.I. Jane was a strong female woman, which everybody's focusing women empowerment. Women can do what men can do. So did that joke seem any disrespectful?
That's why Chris Rock was saying, really? It was a G.I. Jane joke. Yeah. And then Will Smith was like, keep your name, keep my wife's name out your mouth. I mean, he's being loud with it. It's like, really?
Yeah, basically. But they were just meant.
And not thinking logically about what he was saying. All emotion, no logic.
No, like a simp beta male. Jeffrey said, why are they looking at Jada Pinkett? I believe Will wasn't going to hit him. Jada gave him that look. Yes, because you want to know why? Will's manhood has always been questioned in a relationship.
Always.
From day one. From day one, you got to understand something. The type of men that Jada had been attracted to were strong, masculine, alpha men who sometimes come from the hood. I guess I've seen as a hood dude. Tupac was a hood dude. She's repeatedly supported her affection for that. You know what I mean? Listen, Maurice say, where was that energy for August? Just wondering. We're asking the same. Right? We're asking the same question. He was piping down your wife. But the question is, my biggest question here, as black men, what are we going to do to show a lot more love for another one of our brothers, besides the outside problems we have in the ghetto? The ghetto's a whole nother issue. You feel what I'm saying? He says you can't pick and choose when to be tough. Facts. Maurice Jackson said you can't pick and choose when to be tough. You are 100% right. You're
totally 100%
right. And shout out to my man. Maurice has always been a stand-up dude, and he can speak in that term. Because you know what I'm saying, coming from you know what I mean, it's very real, especially if Will grew up in a household where he said his daddy was beating up on his mama. Why you ain't beat your daddy?
Mm-hmm. And hey, I got something too, Hakeem. There was an interview he did, the SAGs Awards, when he won his award on that. And before that, there was a woman who was interviewing him, and Jetty was there. And then at the end, he said, "So this ain't gonna be no more entanglements, right?" And they both laughed at it. And he said, and Jetty was like, "No, it's gonna be none of that." To me, Jetty should have checked her, but Jetty didn't do that.
No, yeah.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
If my wife would have did, I would have had a serious conversation with my wife about that.
We had that. And listen, you would have done that behind closed doors.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This is the thing. And listen here, when she came out with her, she did that out in the open and got all types of views. Now, I want to refer to a comment of this. Maurice said to Aziza, she said, because August went on a smear campaign, that is my issue. August wasn't disrespecting her. It's just, so Aziza, Maurice says, why? When you make a song about an affair with a married prominent woman, it's a smear campaign. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it's come to and go to the interview. Angela Yeezy will talk about Will let me hit that on that topic. So I was like, what?
Yeah. Yep. He was blatantly talking about disrespecting a married woman wife. Now, here's the funny thing is, in this whole situation, she is not being talked about as the catalyst of this thing. As a young kid growing up in the hood, one thing I learned, and anybody who's listened to this can understand this. They always would tell you a woman will be a man's downfall. Lord Jesus. Am I right, Jordan?
Yeah, you're right on it.
A woman will be a man's downfall if you're not an alpha male, or if you don't have any sense of control. A woman will be your downfall. If her emotions overtakes your relationship and there's no logic that's being instilled in there, you will not be able to survive in a pack of wolves. It is a fact.
Exactly. It's unnatural.
It is very unnatural. And mind you here, you know what I mean? Mind you, there's a whole, we could talk about this all night, and we could talk about how Jada from the gate, can I be honest with you? This was going to happen. We seen this happening. There was a catalyst that was going to go to this point. You feel me? You know what I mean? There was a catalyst. This mess that started from allowing their kids to do whatever they want, and this red table talk stuff, and airing out their business. And listen, if she didn't have this red table talk, we wouldn't have known nothing that was happening. Will would not have been disrespected in the public eye.
Right. And the thing is, well, this make you look worse. You still gonna get picked on.
Oh, picked on is not the word. Picked on is not the word, boy.
Yeah, man.
They're going to pick on that man forever. That slap is going to be a meme forever.
Yep. I saw on an Instagram post of a source that's there was a person who had a tattoo of a slap on their arm. And this shit only happened yesterday.
I just ain't like that, man. He says a man's ego will be his own downfall. Aziza, no, not in this one. You have a good night too, Queen. She said a man's ego. And mind you, who pumps up a man's ego? Let's talk about that. Who pumps up a man's ego? 80% of things men do are driven by women. Am I wrong? Isn't that not a fact? 80% of things that men do is driven by women. You know what I'm saying? We buy cars because of women. We fight men because of women. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember this, Jordan. I don't know if you were still here in Miami. There was a shooting that was at the Chili's up here on 441 and like 183rd, if I'm not mistaken, where there was a girl who was having an argument with the cook in the back. She just had called a dude that she just started dating with. He comes up there and shoots the man dead.
Ooh, what year was this?
Man, this was like a couple years ago.
Okay. But because when I left, the last time I was there was 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
It might have happened like a little bit after that. But This girl was talking to this dude. He goes and shoots the cook over an argument.
Wow.
This is no different than what Will just did. Will just did. He thinking he's going to defend a girl he just met. Now he's doing life in prison.
That's crazy, yo.
You know what I mean? I want people to seriously think about your actions as a man when it comes towards being with a woman. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. And also, you pick the right type of woman, and y'all communicate about these things. About okay, if the situation happens, what's the best solution to take?
No, you're right. You're right. Maurice Jackson, he did give me it was 2020 when that shooting happened, and and you're right. And this is why I say we have to, as being the older guards now, we're in our 40s. We have to show an examples for these kids that's coming up under us today. The example of conflict resolution, how we talk to our brother, how we handle issues, you know what I mean? How we handle our women. If we're fornicating, if we're disrespecting your wife, if you're cheating, like a lot of that stuff got to get cleared up. Because you want to know something, these young kids ain't gonna have no respect for us, and this is why they don't listen to us, because stuff like that happens. We prance around saying that, oh, you got to do what we say, but we don't show a good example. You know, you know what I'm trying to say? You even got his own daughter who just came out on Instagram, Willow, saying she's polyamorous, and then she's kissing a girl in her mouth. Not saying there's anything wrong, people. Don't jump down my throat. But imagine if their house was a little bit more secure.
Yeah. And it comes from the mom's side. Because I remember one time I was on Red Table Talk with someone where she said her grandmother taught her how to masturbate and stuff. I'm like, oh what?
Yeah, I remember that. I didn't want to get into all that.
Yeah, listen, it's like because Will Smith's more of a traditional guy, but he met with Jada, got married. It's like, you know, Jada never believed in traditional marriage, so they made a deal that works best for both of us. But it making Will looking terrible, man.
No, definitely, and it does. But let's talk to the nitty-gritty about this situation. I honestly think, and for people who are watching here, you want to know the reason why this situation, his life has been an up and down with this woman. There wasn't equally yoked.
Correct.
The type of man that Will was, he was never supposed to be with Jada. Listen, she's no different than any pretty girl from the hood who like gangsters. Will is not a gangster. He don't know how to function around a black woman who deals with hypermasculinity. Technically, I'm going to say something that's going to get you a lot of y'all mad. The type of woman that Will should have been with was either a white woman, a Hispanic, or a black girl that was from the suburbs. And even if she was from the suburbs, she didn't accept black pathology. I want y'all to soak that in your mind and tell me what y'all think about that. Because let me tell you something. Any real woman who understands the success of her man would have chased down him and said, baby, it ain't nothing. Forget that dude. You know how many times a woman would stop her man from beating up somebody because she understands the bag?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know
a good one said, man, he ain't worth it.
He ain't worth it.
This is your night. This is your night, babe. Don't worry about him. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
This is your night.
You talking about Will Smith, who's worth over 400 million, smacking somebody on a stage.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about this. You know what I'm saying? Maurice said, exactly, we have to set standards and type. He says, Will probably got mommy issues. Man, looking for love. He needs to be loved 100%. Mind you, Maurice, his mother was supposed to be there. She wasn't. She chose to do something else. Stephen, listen, my cousin said it's true. Jada and Will was never compatible. They were never compatible. That's it. They was not equally yoked. And this is a message for a lot of young guys. Young guys, it's okay to be a normal guy, but please do not get with women who are not normal like you.
That's right.
If you're a Pokemon, anime, Bobo tea sipping ass dude, fuck with them type of chicks. Your life will be better.
And there's black women who does like that stuff too.
It's tons of black women who love that too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you a dude who don't like to go out and spin the bag, why are you messing with them? The women love to mess with y'all because they know that they can use you while Trayshawn is beating it up. You're just spinning the bag on them. Mm-hmm. Get with somebody who fits your personality. Mm-hmm. Due to the fact that women have an option, because Jada has a pretty privilege, she was able to get whatever kind of man she wanted. So she landed the biggest bag ever. But her and this man was not equally yoked.
Nope. And it's looking bad and bad each week, each day, and it's gonna get worse.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think any woman would feel good to know that her man is a public spectacle? He doesn't even gain her no more respect.
Yeah.
I want to talk about my homeboy here for an example. My homeboy Maurice. He has done I'm using it. I got to use real world example. And I can use you too as an example. He takes care of his kids. He has done he's been a teacher in school. He has done the brown bag. He was feeding homeless people. When you have men who have stand-up thing, and mind you, there's no blemish in his characters. There's no pin that has been dropped or hear any funny stuff that was going on. His record is clean. You feel me? Black men need to uphold themselves like that. It's the same thing with you, Jordan. You married. You've been with your wife for this long. You doing this. You hold yourself to a character. You feel what I'm trying to say? You're not going to let nobody to mess up that back. It's important for us to be upstanding.
It's a legacy for me. That's why I keep that important, because it's a legacy thing for me.
No, 100%. I agree with you. You know what I'm saying?
Are you here, Ronnie?
No, I'll wait until y'all done. I'll give you my
thing. Yeah. Come on, yeah.
Okay.
This is my thing. On the take of the Oscar, I think everything was staged, everything was fake. It doesn't make logical sense. Because here's why. Because when you see the clip from different angles, you can see that Chris Rock was already preparing himself for the slap. That's for one. And number two, Will worth like $400, close to $500 million, which is close to $500 million. He knows his legacy. He knows his life. He knows his whole legacy. Everything he's built is on the line. So he wouldn't do that. And not only that, but the Oscar, every time you do something in the Oscar, when it comes to a comedic joke, they go behind the scenes. Just show them like, hey, is it okay to do this? Is it okay to do this? Is it okay to do that? And we're going to have the right to say, hey, I don't want you to use that joke. Not only that, but prior to that, when you see him sitting down, when Chris Rock was actually doing the joke, Will Smith was laughing. He didn't get up until he saw Jada's face, but I think she probably gave him the cue like, hey, Will, this is your cue to go off stage and to do your thing to make it seem like it was a quote unquote big thing, but it was all in that. It's nothing to take something serious. Now it is serious in the aspect of demoralizing black men because they seem to very highlight black men as being very violent and very not understanding to be able to talk. So to me, I think this whole thing was staged, and not only that, because number one, it was the Oscars, and number two, the Oscars known for acting, and that was the same night that Will got the best award of his whole entire life, which is the best acting award. Who he beat, which is Denzel Washington. So all of this people got to put into play, and not only that, but a lot of celebrities on Instagram don't agree everything that happened at the Oscar. A lot of them believe it was staged, that it was all an act.
Mm-hmm.
But like I say, the whole meaning of it do diminish black people as being very violent. And that's the only thing I don't like when it comes to that whole situation. Now, when Will and Jada's situation, when it comes to the whole aspect of marriage, I always say that I kept saying it in previous podcasts. Man has to be straightforward when it comes to women. You cannot allow women to have power in the relationship. Will is just a nice guy. That's just who he is. He's just a nice guy. He tends to let Jada always dictate the relationship. You can't do that. As a man, you gotta know when to say, hey, baby, it's time for me to take control. You sit your ass down. He doesn't do that. So now, do you ask me? I think he is frustrated in the relationship, and there's really nothing you can do because it is an open marriage. That's what he signed up for, and that's what she signed up for. So by her doing that thing, she's just showing him like, hey, tell me what to do. And he's not telling her what to do. He's saying everything's all right, and he's blatching out on different people, and he's saying, he's tired, and he's fed up, and this and that. But I think the whole relationship is like an open book. And not only that, but you go to Will Smith's life, Will Smith was a very private person. Nobody knew what he was doing in his relationship until now. Yep. So that's something that he signed up for. He wanted his relationship to be public. So that's why I say to me, it was a good show because it brought the ratings up for the Oscars, so the rating was down. You guys could do research. The rating was down for the Oscars until the slap. That's when everybody was tuning in and say, oh, let me go see. Everybody view right now that's talking about the Oscars, everybody got 1,000+ views because that's the thing that's hot right now. Okay, I guarantee you tomorrow is going to be something else. To me, it was just a distraction, and I love you guys take on it. That's why I didn't really say nothing in. I was just weighing in your guys' different thoughts, but mine was pretty much far left because I believe it was an act. I don't even think it was nothing to take serious. Now, I say I only take certain parts that is serious. I think black men need to start being more violent, and I think we need to have more conversation. Now, the way they hand things out, it should have been a different way. I think they need to put black people more in a positive light instead of the negative light. We've been too much in the negative light, so now they see us as wild animals. Like, look, these guys can't hold no composure even at the Oscars, which has been here for for decades. So I don't really take it seriously, and not only that, but I think y'all can do research too. Chris Rock said he's not gonna press charges. If it was a white man, he would immediately press charges.
Oh no, it would have been over for him.
Yeah, but over.
That's why I say it was staged. And Chris Rock, remember, he have white lawyers, so they know like he can win big. Like I told Hakeem, he can win big time.
No, definitely.
If he wanted on the side, when I was telling you, he could really win big time. He could sue the Oscar and sue Will, and Chris Rock would never have to commit it ever again. But I think he knows an act, so he's like, no word, we ain't gonna press charges and this and that. And by California law, Chris Rock don't need to press charges. You know that, right? The police can do it themselves.
Yeah, and I think Jordan said they're thinking about doing that. There's 2 points I want to put on that somebody said in the comments. One, they said that's why I don't believe it was staged, because why would somebody tarnish the image of black men like that? The next one is Maurice said, did anybody peep in the beginning before the joke? Will and Jada was not sitting next to each other. He was sitting she was Maurice, he was sitting next. He was sitting in the back. He actually laughed at the joke first. And another point, he says, but the Oscar ain't for us. No damn way. F the Oscar and the Grammys. 100%.
Yeah, I can't say that on every podcast. He kept saying,
ain't for us.
Saying that for the longest.
For the longest, I said we need to listen. This is the issue on why we can't get none of our black artists out of Miami, out of a lot of things to blow them up, because we don't have our own platforms. No offense to other brothers and sisters, But if we had a platform here, or if we had radio stations that was owned by Black people, that was driven by Black people, more and more people have opportunities to be promoted like that. So I always say this, it's over for us. Listen, a lot of people don't know this, but Quavo backed out the Grammys because he said it's over for them. It's not up for us anymore.
Right. It's not. And I agree with him, yo. It's like the Grammys.
But then,
like
but then I can't, any platform like you enjoy and say every platform to go to, let's keep it real, it's owned by white. BET Award. It was owned by Black. He sold to a white company.
Yeah, Viacom.
By white. You know what I'm saying? Like most of these platforms are owned by white. We just don't want to create our own.
But listen here, let's be real with you. When we had the BET Awards, when we had the Source, these big mega stars wasn't going there. Beyonce wasn't showing up at no BET Awards. These people was not showing up at our Black. When we did have the platforms, nobody was going. Nobody was showing up. We had our own award show, the Source Award. I used to love watching that. We had our own conventions. We had all this going, but with the lack of support, and the fact is that for some strange reason, Black people have an issue with giving other Black people money. So this is the reason why a lot of our businesses and things do not survive. Why is it that we don't have more Black artists as millionaires? Because we don't want to give them any money or support them. We don't go to their shows. We don't buy their CDs. We don't do none of this. And people wonder and they say, hey, why is this man disgruntled? He has a lot of reason to be disgruntled.
Yeah.
Because I could talk about it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of my Black literacy I learned from you. No. You always talk about investing in Black business. Remember, that stuff we're not taught. We always taught to go to the white grocery store, to go to the white mall, to go to all these other things. We're not taught to go within things and within our community. That's not what we taught. Remember, that's not what we see. Look at the Oscars. Our mind, I'm not gonna lie, my mind was always to dream of going to the Oscar and nothing else. You see what I'm saying? That's what we see.
You're right.
Our mind dream to go in the NFL. Our mind dream to go to the Grammy, all owned by white.
All owned by white. Same thing with me. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be signed to a record label, to a white record label. Until you start getting knowledge yourself and you start to understand, hey, F that, I can do this with my own people. We don't need the Oscars. We can put out our own movies. We can do this. You know what I'm saying? We don't got to cater to them. You know what I'm saying? And this is the point where we have to learn. I just want to use one more example, which breaks my heart. A lot of people remember Uncle Al, if you're from Miami. You feel me? Uncle Al gave a platform to somebody like DJ Khaled to come and become one of the biggest DJs here. Uncle Al's had never received the success that DJ Khaled had got. Because you want to know why we wouldn't support him. You know what I'm saying? Because people in positions, and this is what Maurice says, man, that because people in the positions are suckers. They don't want to create because the fear of upsetting master. Supporting your brother, you're gonna upset masters. You're not gonna make a lot of friends. So what are you gonna do that's right?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys are right.
You know what I mean? Create, you know what I mean? Creating a job for yourself. You know what I mean? Having a business, and you know what I mean? And this is what another one some gave left a comment. Marie, because this is a teacher. He said, this is why I teach my students. F going to college, get a good job, get a trade, create a job for yourself and others. I preach that every day.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
I preach that every day. That's facts.
That's right.
I wish I would have got that when I was going to school.
Me
You know what I'm saying? That's facts.
Listen, a lot of us did. Hey, we're students of public education. Most of the teachers coming from where I went from Jackson told us to go get a job. You know what I mean? Listen, I vividly remember my teacher telling me, don't your daddy work for the city of Miami? Can he get you a job there? I told him I wanted to go to school. They told me, Wilder, you're not fit to go to school.
Wow.
I went and got my CDL license listening to that person. You know what I'm trying to say? But now as an older man, I'm trying to teach my nephews and nieces they don't have to do all that. So we don't have to do. So at the end of the day, man, like people, we have to love each other, man. We have to love each other, brothers and sisters. No matter what we're going through, we got to get through our problems and stick together. We all we got.
Mm-hmm.
We all we got. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, where else you gonna run to?
Right.
You know what I mean? What other community is gonna accept you
Mm-hmm.
or take you in but us? Matter of fact, we're the only community that when you do us dirty, we allow you to come home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
AKA OJ Simpson.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're the only community when we allow you to come home. Because here's the thing. After this whole situation with Will, this will pass. We'll gain love for him again. Yep. But this would be a stain on his record to say that, hey, Will slapped another black man for a joke to try to prove a point that he's a tough guy.
Yeah.
But you know, so I ain't gonna lie, like Jordan said, he did get respect. Like you guys said earlier, he did get respect from black women. So I think that's what he wanted at the end of the day anyway. The respect of women.
Hey, it looks like in 2022, if you have more respect for women, you can make money.
That really all that matters. Listen, your respect from your peers don't even mean anything. I'll be damned if I do anything like that.
Right.
Yeah, me
too. I'll be damned if I do anything like that. Because you want to know why? As men, we need to stick together. As men, we need to have a brotherhood. As men, we chastise each other. You feel me? As men, we hold each other accountable. Not like that in the public stage.
Black man.
Thank you for correcting me.
It's all good.
I would say we gotta learn how to handle things differently instead of being violent, because they always see us black men as being violent.
Oh yeah.
Like anything gonna happen, we're gonna go get the gun. I'm gonna go smack Akeem. I'm gonna smack Jordan. I'm gonna cut Jury now. Like no emotionally control. Like they trying to say we don't have no control.
Yeah,
and that's the only issue, because that's not true. There's a lot of black men that have control of it.
No, a lot of it, but we have a few in a bunch that stir the pot and makes it look bad. Ron, look at the issue we're going through right now. Because of some of our brothers, Miami Beach has a curfew now.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Because of out of town, because of our out of town brothers who are coming from places like Chicago, Atlanta, and God knows what hood you're coming from. You come here and you use Miami Beach, Collins Avenue, Ocean Avenue as a shootout place.
And let me tell you something. Miami Beach South Beach has not been the same since 2010. Because when I first came to 2010, and when I went to South Beach, you know, they had no rules. You do anything. Yeah. And at the time, Miami was very classy. South Beach was very classy.
Yes.
When I came in, I was like, oh, this is nice, very classy. All that type of stuff. Everybody having a good time, no that. Once I moved there, year by year, I just seeing all these rules. It was going to work. Yeah. It's getting worse and worse and worse. It's like, and it's like, and like I said, it's making South Beach making a bad name. It's like, I hear people like, it was like, some people like, Miami Beach, I'm going to go in there, it's ghetto.
Listen, we talking about Lincoln Avenue, Lincoln Mall, and it's our people, and the only people they're pointing is our people. When Ultra Fest whenever you go to Ultra Fest, you ever hear any bodies dropping?
Nope.
And
man, Roddy, when I was there working, you know, it was a couple blocks down while we was working. We don't hear, we just had everybody having a good time, music loud, everybody's having fun.
It's like a stain on black people. Like it's meant for us like to be violent. And I'm like, no, we have to learn how to control and stop being violent. Right. And have conversation. Because the other race, like a lot, you know, Hakeem, that was one of the biggest topics going on this morning. Everybody kept saying, like, look how black people act. Look how they acting. They're acting like wild animals.
Yeah.
Right. And at 50.
At 50.
Like Jordan said 50.
These are 50-year-olds, man.
Listen, Maurice just said that there's no liquor after 6 p.m. Damn, in Miami Beach, damn the beach. They don't want us over there anyways. Hey, can I tell you something? I don't know if you might know this. But I know Maurice know this. And my daddy told me this. You know, there was a point of time you wasn't even allowed to go on South Beach if you was black.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. Go look it up. A lot of the old timers, you needed you needed an ID to go to South Beach if you was black. Miami Beach was only inclusive to white folks. So,
yep.
You know what I mean? So a lot of these places that are, with the exception, you know, Ken Dorsey, who had owned Star Island, a lot of people don't know, they had forced him to sell the islands back to Miami Beach. A lot of people don't know that.
I knew that. And that, and seeing them, it was black on. When I first heard, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Really, Hollover Beach has always been the only place we was allowed to go come as a group and enjoy. So they don't want us over there anyway, but here's the thing. White folks who own businesses on the beach are going to hurt now because we give the most business. But here's the crazy thing about that. Yeah. Here's the crazy thing about that. Since we give the most business to white folks, why we don't give the most business to black-owned companies?
There you go.
You know what I mean? My man's Maurice got a clothing line. Y'all go check him out. Why don't we need to start by supporting black-owned businesses and copping clothes, copping the shoes, going to the hotels, and this is what we do, but we don't give that business over there. So it's a narrative we're going to start to preach. Don't get me wrong. We'll change it. We're going to change this. All we just got to do, we just don't got to do business with them folks no more.
That's right.
That's all that matter, man. I know this was a tough topic for a lot of people, man, but hey, man, we have to, you know what I mean? We have to do this, man. And I always preach group economics, cooperative economics, buying some land, building your own community, taking care of your kids, like making sure you don't disrespect your black woman in public. You feel what I'm saying?
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's just get off that goofy stuff. Willie Lynch is still winning.
Final thoughts, everybody.
My final thoughts for me. Maurice ended for me. He said Willie Lynch is still winning.
That's not a final thought.
Yeah.
Willie Lynch is still winning.
Willie Lynch is still winning. He's still winning.
Well, my final thoughts is, like I said, as black people, even though we saw that stuff like that, we have to do better. We can't not let that allow that sustain us. We can't let that allow that. So we have to do better. That's my final thoughts.
I agree with you 100%.
My final thoughts. I want to thank everybody that came on to participate. You also we had a lot of feedback from the fans. Everybody was showing great feedback tonight. We love it. Let's continue to get that. We love the fans. We love your cousin. We love everybody that participated. Maurice,
shout out Maurice.
I see your girls. I'm sorry. I see one of your friend girls in there.
Yeah.
It was good. We
was
love
good.
that engagement. Very good.
Yes, and we appreciate that.
This how we here. We're not gonna agree. We're gonna agree to disagree. But my final thought, like I always say, I think men need to have more control over their women and to let them know, like, hey, you gotta know when to know. Let your woman know, hey, it's time for you to sit down. It's time for me to take control. Because now at this point, we'll like Jordan say, and like you said, Hakeem, Will Smith legacy is on the line here.
Yeah.
And this is the sad part. I don't want to see Will Smith legacy to go down because he is one of my favorite actors. I don't want him to go down as like Will Smith as the weak beta male, and I don't think, I don't want to be that type of image for him because I look at Will Smith as a very highly talented guy, and I think he's very goofy too. So it's Will Smith. Like Hakeem said, he got the CD, so he's just one of them guys.
No, we still love our brother. We still love him because even though he did wrong, we just need to have a tribunal, have some of the older guys sit him down and say, man, you can't do that in front of people. That's all it is.
So I think Denzel's talking to him. I think he's coaching him.
And Tyler Perry.
Guru, huh?
And Tyler Perry and Denzel had to talk to him after the incident.
So But you already know, man. You already know we're gonna be back at it once again. So that being said, KR Culture Radio,
we out.
Yeah.
we out.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank everybody for joining with us, man. Shout outs Maurice. Shout outs everybody.